What's up? Happy
What's
Friday,
going
everybody.
on? Happy Friday. Listen, you know how I'm loving that intro.
Yeah, I do too. I
That
love it.
intro is everything.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So today is Friday. I won't say the date because I'll forget. But I do know who
June
I am.
21st.
Okay, there we
Yes.
go. I do know who I am. I am Keisha. I'm one half of the host of the Regal Mindset podcast show. And I have my lovely co host here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Joy, the coach. I am your millionaire, your mystic, your mindset transformer. And I'm so excited to be gay. How about that?
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
This is
talking
the
about.
best time to live your authentic life.
Absolutely. We still gay this month. We got a couple more days.
Listen, we got a couple more days and then we might be back regular. You never know. Regular
Right.
smegular.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we got a wonderful show again for you tonight. Please like, share, and follow on all social media platforms. Tonight, the subject or the context of the conversation is Gen X in the workplace, challenges and opportunities.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Listen, we keep forgetting about them, but we're going to talk about them tonight because they are making some serious impact in the corporate workspace. Well, not just corporate, just in the workspace in general.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm loving it, but hating it at the same time. So, it's a balance beam.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I like we were briefly discussing the whole Dell situation. I'm positive that that was a Gen Z strike and it worked because back in our day when strikes used to happen, the nurses strike and everybody's striking, you just quit. They bring in new people to take over your job temporarily. You was out of work, burning out. But this strike pulled it off, and I'm
Yeah,
loving it.
that's what it
I'm
sounds like.
loving it. They are teaching corporate America about what it takes to support us as
Yeah,
your employee in 2024, and I'm loving it. They
yeah,
have more balls
absolutely.
than we did.
Oh man, I love it. Well, listen, I have definitely got to tune into that. I did not see it come across my news feed, but I am definitely gonna look that up as soon as we get done here. But so yeah, so we saw a couple videos, and we of course know people. I've done some research myself. Gen Z is actually from the ages of what I think 12 to 27, so somewhere born between
Jesus,
97 and
12?
2012. Yeah, that's according to ChatGPT. That's what they
Oh
say.
my God.
Yeah, yeah. So
So they
Gen
like
Z.
the mid 90s to the early 2010s.
Yep. 97 to 2012.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
They got a way of
Was
thinking,
we
and hey,
sleep?
we gonna help them along though.
Yeah, but you know what? They're also called Zoomers. So it makes
Zoomer.
sense.
Okay. That's
I
crazy though.
like that.
Yeah. Well, listen, they got their own way of thinking, like you said, and
Hmm.
we're here to talk about it. If you are between the ages of 12 and 20, well, preferably not 12.
Yeah. Well, you
You
need
ain't
a
working
Regal
yet.
mindset too. You're 12.
Oh,
You
for
can
sure, for
understand.
sure. But preferably closer to the 18 and up to 27 age range, and you're in the workforce, and whether it's professional or in a job setting, right? Well, we won't say career, but on your way to a career, right? Because we're trying to keep you or put you in the mindset of regally thinking.
Hmm.
um but yeah, so the video we're about to watch, you go ahead and set it up. But I watched it and I was shocked because I could not understand her thought process. Like that just blows me away.
It, it opened up so much to it's like, dang, it was offensive, then it was liberating at the same,
Yeah, I
if
agree.
that makes sense. It was
Yeah,
like, oh heck no, that's not going. Then it was like, girl, we need to get that attitude.
right.
So
Should we try it?
right, right. So this is actually a Gen Zer
Okay.
who is giving her perspective on workplace responsibility, job descriptions, working inside your pay grade, because we know, especially Gen Xers and baby boomers, we work outside of work hours, we work outside of pay grades, we work outside of job scopes, all of that.
Facts.
And I don't believe Coco is 29. I think she lying to
We
us.
need some ID.
Yeah, I
Where
need
the
some
boss at?
ID. I don't
Where
think
the
you're
real boss
29.
at?
No, no. And
Let's
then
check.
so they're setting the expectations that we did not set. So
Fact.
we faulted our ancestors for being pushovers, especially the baby boomers, because they gave up family for work life. They
Yeah.
wanted to work long on the Ford Motor Company and stuff like that. And then the silent generation, and then the greatest generation before that, they were workhorses. That's all they knew. And then prior to that, they was coming in from slavery. So all
Yeah.
they knew was work, keep your head down, do what you need to do. And it's like now we're looking at these new generations that are like, I won't be quiet. You're going to
Hmm.
respect my boundaries, and at home and
And
in
in
the
the workplace.
workplace, things that we couldn't speak up for that now, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of riding their coattail on it. Because I mentioned to
Yeah.
you, yeah, I mentioned to you before about that it was a job posting. And after the job posting, you submitted your application, it gave a feedback survey and was asking, are you Generation Z?
Mm,
And then it gave questions. What are you looking for? And I'm paraphrasing because I remember every question, but it was like, what are you looking for in your next career? Is it work-life balance? Is it, and started giving it, is it more compensation? And after you took it, it gave like a percentage result that majority of people was looking for social responsibility
mm.
and work-life balance. They didn't care about the pay. They're like, we'll make this work. So we're gonna play this young lady and we're gonna chime in.
Yeah, for sure.
You ready for it?
I'm ready.
All
Hit
right,
me.
I'm ready.
Okay, Torian, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You say you have no problem telling your employer no if they ask you to do something outside your job description. Does that happen a lot?
Absolutely. Every day I go to work and I'm expected to be cross-trained without any bump in pay. I'm expected to cover for people who, quite frankly, they decide when and if they want to come to work. And it's just part of my job to do their work just because I'm there, and it's a team effort. And so, no, I'm not going to overextend myself and bend over backwards for companies who don't take all the little nuances of being an employee of theirs into consideration.
What do you do?
So I'm a patient care coordinator. I just make sure that the waiting room is taken care of and that people are seated and get to see their doctor on a timely manner.
So what's the last thing your boss asked you to do that you said, no, not going to do that?
Verifying insurance. I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Because I don't want to.
And you don't think that while you're there, getting paid to be there, that you're subject to doing whatever needs to be done while you're there. You're a specialist.
I'm a specialist, yes. That's a very good way to put it, because while I'm there, I'm only there to do what I'm being paid to do.
That's a terrible approach to work, because there's an opportunity cost of doing the bare minimum. People notice excellent work, and with that then comes opportunity for growth and career advancement. And so people in your generation look at it as, they're not paying me and they're not going to take my time and steal my time. But it's really an investment in your future to go above and beyond, because the people higher up, depending upon where you want to go in life, will notice that kind of work. So I disagree completely with that approach.
Is above and beyond on my contract?
That's the mentality shift that I'm suggesting that you make if you want to go beyond where you're at today.
What do you guys think about this?
I mean, I'm a serial going above and beyond person because it's where it's gotten me in my life and in my career. And did I always get paid for it? No. But what I value more is my integrity as who I am as a person. And I think the disconnect is that you're representing the woman of today and the woman of the future. And that is important, because younger girls that are trying to decide what it is that they want to do with their lives and their careers are now seeing, hey, you know what? You're going to get kudos for doing the bare minimum. It's the total wrong way to work at life as well as a career.
All right. That was a lot.
Okay, Torian, thanks for being here.
Oh, there we go. That was a lot.
Yeah.
And it was a good lot. You want to start? Because I was typing notes.
Yeah, no, I think the first thing she said that was kind of gut wrenching for me is, first of all, yes, your employer does expect you to come to work every day. Every day that you're requested to be there, right? So your schedule says Monday through Friday, you should be there every day, right? And we're both employers, right? So I can
Mhm.
understand both sides of it because I'm an employer and I've been an employee. Or currently am an employee. Let me say that. So yes, your employer expects you to be there every day. And then the second part of that is she doesn't want to do anything that's outside of her job description. To some
Mhm.
degree, I understand her perspective in that she only gets one check. And I say this all the time. I got one check. They don't give me anything extra for anything outside of what I'm capable of doing, what I'm educated to do, and or what my skill sets also says that I can do. Only get one check. Um, but I also, at the same time, on the flip side of that, understand the other young lady, the black lady. She said that basically, when you do these things outside of the scope of your own job description, it allows your supervisors and the people who are in a position to promote you to look at you and say, okay, well, and compensate you or promote you or offer you a promotion based on that. Well, I should be looked upon for promotion based on how well I do my current job. Those
Mhm.
things outside, I can kind of see, I can see both ways, but that was just a lot to really unpack. And I can, like you said, I see both sides of it. Could she have said it differently? Absolutely. But she's a Gen Z, so what are we gonna do?
So you're absolutely right. So job duties. Now, the everyday, I'm on point with that. If your job tell you, this is your hours, these are your hours. You signed up for it, so you can't change that. However, duties assigned. This is extremely important because what employers are now doing is when they give you that job list of your job duties and your job
Mhm.
description, they have a very key statement at the bottom and duties as assigned. So they're letting you know you're going to be working outside of what's listed. So if you ever try to bring to them and say, hey, this is what you said, they're saying, read the last line,
Mhm.
duties as assigned. So that is their waiver of saying, I told you that
Mhm.
more will come along with this opportunity. So that's where you have to define what those duties look like. Because if you're going to measure those duties to another job, and you can say, hey, this is now, like you said, you're only giving me one paycheck. So if I'm covering for someone and you, like this young lady said they wanted her to do billing, I mean, the check insurance, that's a
Mhm.
whole totally different job title
I
and
agree. Yeah.
scope. So then, therefore, I would question that because I'm like, you're putting me in another job title.
Mhm.
Now, if you saying I'm as a patient coordinator and I check my patients in, but then you're telling me to get them to fill out additional documents, that is still within my job descriptions, duties as assigned. But when we start stepping out, then that's when we need to say, hold on one second, because the company is saying, well, this is the opportunity to show us what you're about. I've already done that because you
Mhm.
brought me aboard. So I showed you in the interview what I was about. Now, since I've been working here, I've showed you what I'm about by doing my job, showing up every day, being present, engaging. I'm showing that. So I've already showed you that. So going back to what that black lady said, she would really piss me off because she is a Candace Owens in my eyesight.
Ah,
Because you're looking at it from a old mindset, a
yep.
baby boomer, Gen X, solid generation mindset, as if more work equals recognition, and it doesn't.
Yep.
Nobody's going to recognize you for more work. Even when you get your little 2% merit increase, they're looking at your work and they're saying you met expectations. They will never say you exceeded expectations. And this is why we're promoting you. You have to do other things. Exactly. She's brainwashed. You have to do other things in the workplace to be recognized for good work, such as moving around the company in different departments. They notice you more on that and doing well, but moving around, gaining more knowledge of different areas, not staying a patient coordinator. Why don't you go and be a lab tech? And for the same company. Now they're seeing that you're willing to expand your knowledge base, you're willing to stick it out and learn different aspects. then you will probably be their first choice as the office manager in this particular scenario, as office manager, because now you know everybody's job and you're able to manage it and help manage the people that are in those current jobs. So then moving around gets you attention, not more work. And you have to be okay with saying, well, if this is because the job were presented to you as if it's some type of promotion. Promotion
Mm-hmm.
means a title increase, job responsibility increase. Sometimes the job don't increase. You can move up to COO and do less work than you would as a manager.
Mm-hmm.
But that means I'm getting more money because at the end of the day, my time is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she's saying. But this black lady, we're gonna call her Candace Owens for right now. She is pretty much positioning her to saying, well, I wouldn't hire you at my company, but you don't have your own company. You still work for somebody else too. And
Absolutely.
you one of those suck ups because you want to do. Now, I expect a white woman to say that, but you want to do and think that's going to get you attention. No, ma'am. They like your plain face. You are attractive to white men that's going to put you in a particular position. And that's how you're going to get there. It's not because you did more work. They don't value your work. If they did, they would give you more than 2% because based off of merit, you've earned more than 2%. They do not value your work. So then and then I didn't like the fact of how the white lady put the weight of a role model on her. She's
Mm-hmm.
there to get paid. She's not there to be for the next generation to bring them in. As much gatekeeping goes on in the workplace, why would you put that responsibility on her saying, well, you look what you're doing for the next generation? Who cares? They need to do their own due diligence, like I had to do my own due diligence.
Yep.
Same thing with cross-functional training. That's a big term because I use it at work too. I
Mm-hmm.
do it for the aspect of making sure that they have the skill sets to go to their next level.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only cross-functioning training I'm giving you. But I'm not training you to do his job, and I'm not training him to do your job because one, that was his job assigned. And the day he's absent, the company needs to bring somebody in, and or the person that manages them or leads them should take over in their position, which
Mm-hmm.
that would be me. I don't need to train another person to do his job. It's my job to backfill until that job is back up, somebody's back in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And you should not have to care about an incoming generation and creating a space because the space has already been created.
Mm-hmm.
The company should have trainings. The company should invest in LMS, which is them learning modules.
Yep.
They should invest in trainers coming in and teaching. That's their job, not mine. So I thought that was extremely unfair because the other issue that happens when you do peer-to-peer training, you lose a lot of the value in that training
Mm-hmm.
because they're giving it from their perspective and their experiences. They're not giving it from the original design of that training.
I agree.
So I agree with her. You're paying me to be a patient coordinator. I'm not coordinating nobody's insurance because you got to know the codes. You got
Mm.
to be able to know who to call and all of that. That's not what you asked me to do. You asked me to take care of the customers.
Mm-hmm. And
So that part, exactly.
the moment it goes left, guess who they looking at?
Because you said her insurance approved it. Well, I didn't know what a pre-authorization meant because those
Right.
are terms like, that you have to know because I know it
Be
because I'm always
versed.
at the doctor, seem like. So now I know those terms. So it's like you have to make sure that it's being entered in when you get a pre-authorization, that is the code, the correct code is being sent in.
Absolutely.
So why would you ask somebody who is a customer service for patients to do that type of job? I would absolutely not do it either.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out.
Absolutely.
Figure it
So
out.
I got a question for you.
Mhm.
Um, so what happens or what's your thought with if she were to start doing just learning, right? Just for personal knowledge. Maybe she wants to further develop her career path. Not sure where she wants to go. She learns someone else's job to her left, someone else's job to her right to make her more valuable, right? Not just to that company, but to other companies, right? So she starts these learning processes, her own peer-to-peer, training, and then she stops
Mhm.
and goes back to or reverts back to her original, practice. Y'all don't pay me to do that. What's your
She's quiet
thoughts?
quitting at that point. And
Okay.
I support quiet quitting.
Here we
100%.
go.
I support quiet quitting because at the end of the day, companies need to understand where their strength lies.
Yeah.
And until you position yourself to make yourself invaluable, irreplaceable,
Mm.
that's when they're going to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you that one example for one job. It was a lower paying job. I took it because I thought the job was going to be easier. It was something I wanted to do. I was okay with the salary that they offered, but it was not my normal salary.
Mm-hmm.
But when they started expecting more, I started requesting more. They got upset because now you want me to do other work. And again, I don't give notice. So when I quit within that same hour, I got phone call. They done had to bring in 3 people to do what you was doing. I'm invaluable. Everything I bring, you can't get them to do what I can do. I know that. And it's not gatekeeping. You
Yeah.
can't take what I know up here. I don't care what is written on paper. You can't take my natural innate ability and duplicate it with anybody. You're not going to do that. I'm irreplaceable. You had to get 3 to do what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let you feel that for a little bit. You
Mm-hmm.
need to feel that
Mm-hmm.
because then you will value the person that you had. It will make you think like the next time I get somebody here, they may be a little rough around the edges, but I see something that I need to keep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Absolutely.
saying
I
I'm
agree.
perfect. I'm definitely rough around the edges. I will cuss you out. I have an attitude about a lot of stuff. I speak my mind. I'm very self-aware and I don't like small talk. I hate engage. So I know my little nuances. That's why I work remote. Don't bother me. You
I get
know,
it.
and so I think with corporations are going to start looking at this type of movement. They're noticing what it's going to take to bring in these generations because Generation X is moving on. It's time for us to start position ourselves to be the consultant and not the manager.
Yeah.
You're going to pay me to come in and teach these young bucks what it needs. Millennials are just going to have a nervous breakdown. They're going
We
to
need
break
to do
down
a whole
because
show on all of
yeah,
them.
that we really need to. They're gonna have a nervous breakdown. They're gonna try to take on the weight of the world. Everything go wrong, nervous them. Next thing you know, they on leave. They're on FML. Gen Z is trying to get money to pay bills because they're living out of a
A van.
van that they done converted into a house.
Yeah.
Gen Alpha, they really don't care. They want a YouTube influence and be content creators. Don't nobody know how to fix a car. Don't
Give it
nobody
to
know a
me.
real skill. They don't know I'm finna tell you a funny story, and I promise you we're gonna move on. My 11-year-old, I was driving the U-Haul because we was back getting. I went to Home Depot to get some stuff because they do in our backyard, and the U-Haul had the rolling window. I said, "Hey, buddy." It was a bug in there. I say, roll the window down. He pressing the lock button. Talking about, is this it? No, buddy, that's not it. I said, he talking this. I said, you have to roll it. He was Keisha. He struggled so bad. Keisha,
That
I
is hilarious.
died. He couldn't roll the window. They don't know time. They don't know how to tell the time off a clock. They don't know how to write in cursive.
Oh,
They don't know
yes.
any of these basic life skills that we had to learn. He didn't even know how to roll the window. And I sat there and I was just driving. I said, yeah, we got some work to do.
I know you ain't lying. My 23-year-old came over the other day. We wrote something on the kid's birthday card. She said, I can't read. This is in cursive. I said, oh.
It's like, wow. And we get everything. I know I get everything off TikTok. It was the one girl got on there. It was a white girl.
Uh-huh.
So you can imagine.
Oh,
Dingy and ditzy as can be. She said, guys, but you could tell she was serious. She said, I was talking with the kids that I babysit, and they said, what if we had a phone that stayed at the house that everybody could do? And I'm sitting there like, a landline. Girl, you're talking about a house phone. My grandma still got one. That
well,
is not a new invention, baby.
right.
She was so, and I'm like,
Did we fail
these
these
kids,
babies?
We failing them.
Did we
Like
do
in
it?
American history, they need to go back generations and teach stuff like what does a 5-speed car look like? What does a manual shift car looks like?
Man.
The so again, this is what we're dealing with. So now you're bringing in these tech savvy kids that don't know any other skill,
Yeah.
and it's time for us to move on
From toddler
because
age.
we're
Yeah.
because our generation is realizing I'm not going to continue to be your labor. I can start doing it myself. I can put myself in a different tax bracket and do like you. I've learned
Yeah.
what I need to learn to move on. Millennials, they're to me, they're like the baby, new age baby boomers. They care too much. My sister, she's a millennial, and she'd call me, and the girl on my job did this, and I'd be like, Jen, you know it's 5 o'clock in the morning here, even though in Germany is I'm sleepy. I don't care. Just cuss the girl out. You don't have to be her friend today. Joy, I cannot cuss. I'm not like you. And I'm like, "Ah, where did I go wrong?"
That's hilarious.
It's hilarious. Yeah, they're like new age baby boomers.
Wow.
They want the world a better place. And I'm like, girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere and tell him to leave you alone.
Yeah, yeah. So is there a happy medium, right? Because she is stuck. The young lady is stuck. And we apologize. We don't know the young lady's name again. This content is something that we pull from TikTok via the Dr. Phil show. So if you guys
Hmm.
are welcome to look it up on your own. Also, for those who are watching, please like, click, and follow on all social media platforms and come and join the conversation with us. We love to hear you, your comment, or your comments or your 2 cents on this subject. Does she have any hope, right? Can we convert her, not even convert her, but convince her that there are some benefits to not just learning, but performing some things outside of your actual job description, but it will,
Yes,
as long as if it is going to serve you, right? So at the end of the day, and
that's it.
I'll be honest, and I tell people this all the time. When I joined the Navy, there was 3 things that I wanted for myself. I didn't care, what it is. The Navy, you have a contract with them, so you're contractually obligated for those however many years. But I wanted to travel, I wanted to go back to school, and I also wanted to gain a different skill set. I did all 3 of those things. Once I was done doing all 3 of those things, I moved on. That was the end of our relationship. So as
Right.
long as you're getting out of a relationship what it is that you want or what it is you need to in order to leverage you to the next position, then I'm all for that. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's going to have to be learning a new skill set. How do you do that in the workforce? That only makes sense to me. You there, Jay? So other than that, what are your other thoughts on the other young ladies who had their little two cents of their input? I think we got some technical difficulties over there with her. So let's continue the conversation. So I would say that the young lady, she can learn quite a few things from her counterparts, right? We're gonna wait till she comes back. But I feel like there's some things that she could learn that she could benefit from when she takes that to her next opportunity, right? So I would offer her again to learn some things or to figure out what it is she wants to do for her next job, right? So there's some things that she might see there that she knows for sure this would work for me or it is not going to work for me. Those are the type of things that you want to look for to be, oh, you know what? Perhaps I could see myself doing this. Maybe it is insurance. Maybe that's a route, or maybe a different role within the insurance. Maybe you just go to an insurance place, right? It could be any number of roles and responsibilities that you can learn or take on in that area. However, what I think she's doing by not being open to those opportunities is really putting herself in a box. And when you put yourself in a box, then you limit those things that will help benefit you to take you to the next place. So looks like we've got the coach back. You there? Can you hear me? All right, you there? Can you hear us, Coach? All right, so while she straightens that out, she'll just chime in for us. So let's talk about the stereotypes other than the laziness of the Gen Zs. I feel like there's some other lazy traits that they offer as well. Um, she mentioned something about having to show up to work
Can
every
you hear
day.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You back? You having some technical difficulties?
I This is called karma.
Ah,
I laughed at Lish Talk with Cola when they had technical difficulties last night, and I
ah,
laughed at them until their lights got cut off.
oh no. Yeah, I did see that
And
part.
look what happened.
That's all right. They
You hear
support
me?
us. I sure appreciate them.
Uh-oh. Something just went out.
Now we can hear you. So I was talking about some other lazy traits that Gen Z may have, aside from the fact that she doesn't necessarily. Well, it sounded like she was a little perturbed at having to come to work every day. I would love to just talk to this lady at least for an hour, just to kind of get some more things out of her in terms of what she really thinks and how she feels. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. When it comes back, let me see what Coco got to say here. She says, when it comes back on after you get kicked out, it moves slow. Really? So maybe the bandwidth has to pick up. I hear something in the background. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so we're gonna go with that. No,
Yeah.
so I literally was laughing at talk with Cola last night when they lights
Yeah.
got turned down and boom, look what happened. Look how quick karma came. I wish that Mega Millions will come around that quick.
Okay. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's definitely coming. Yeah. We're going to speak things into existence and with that regal mindset. Yes, ma'am. It's
Exactly.
coming.
So I wanted to, before I was rudely cut off, the you said exactly what she could do is gain that skill set, get a little bit more experience under her belt, take that skill set to another job and
Gotcha.
get $10,000 to $12,000 a year more
I agree.
than that 2% what they're going to give you. So you have to do it for your benefit. And I think corporations are going to start seeing, and not just corporations, businesses in itself, they're
Yeah.
going to start seeing that everybody don't have the same goal coming to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you maybe 2 good years. If you
Mm-hmm.
ain't showed me nothing good in 2 years, I'm out because I've
Yeah.
learned enough to move up.
Yeah. I agree.
Everybody is not giving you longevity. You can count them from 0 to 2 years. That's it. And these corporations think that they want, well, you just need a job. You got to keep in mind, it's a lot of stuff you can go do for money. People are rich because they go and show feet pictures.
Ooh.
So somebody got to learn.
Yeah. Well, and then the other side to that, like you said, Coach, is really she's going to benefit in the long term because she would have on the job training, right? And she learned this other skill set to be able to take to another company or corporation to add value to them. And then whatever
Right.
she learns from there, and she can still stay within the same mind frame she has. I'm only going to do the job that y'all pay me to do. And on the side, if I choose to learn something else and continue that movement. Now, is she going to burn bridges along the way? She got to learn how to handle herself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's my opinion.
But then some people need to learn how to swim. Because when that bridge fall, you need to be able to swim. And if
Facts.
you're gonna burn a bridge, I don't mind burning a bridge for the right reason. Because
Yeah.
I carry a can of gas.
Okay. All right,
You
guys.
start that fire, I'm dousing it.
Okay. I can dig it.
Right. Like, but you have to position yourself to be there.
Yeah.
And so I feel that with the way this generation is going, their concerns are not the workplace concerns. The workplace is more of an option than it is a priority. Where our generation, generations before us, if you lost your job, you was ready to go jump off the bridge. When you lost your job, you were depressed. You gave up your children. That's how we became termed, what is it called? The latchkey kids. Where we
Yeah.
knew how to cook. We knew how to clean. We knew how to take care of ourselves at an early age because our parents had no choice but to work.
True.
There's other choices out there now that wasn't available years ago. Prime example, we was talking about Dell. 60,000 employees did an internal strike. That's what we're going to call it. An internal strike against the company because the company said back to the office 100%. And they said no. So the company was like, well, if you don't come back, then you won't get a promotion. You won't get merit increase. They said, so? I'm okay with that. So one, as a corporation, so then what the company, they was like, all right, well, then let him stay remote. Just because you got a mortgage on a building doesn't mean I have to be there physically for you to justify having that building. That's not the problem. The second thing is you're learning what their priorities are. Their priorities is work-life balance and not having to pay $1,645 a month in childcare.
Or they could just ask them via a survey, which I'm sure they may or may not have done, and they will tell you. I've had those surveys myself. Have you not?
Yeah, because it's like, what if you bring
They don't listen,
a child care center on site?
Okay.
If that was one of the top situations.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, people are really looking more for social responsibility. How do you show up in the world? Are you a good company? How, and they're looking for work-life balance because these kids will quit a job and don't care.
You know what? Once upon a time, you used to be able to go on a site, and I'm probably dating myself here. Glassdoor, I think it was,
No,
where you
it's
could
still
rate.
there.
Yeah, where you could rate the company that you worked for, give you a true, honest opinion. And sometimes when I was job seeking, I would look at those things, and there was a lot of comments or feedback that I would get, and I'm okay, I could see that. But it kind of deterred me from some companies, some big Fortune 500 companies, in terms of whether I wanted to be employed there. But like you said, also, they do have surveys that they survey their employers to figure out what it is that they want, and like you said, the work-life balance, what it is that they need from their employees, that the employer can offer to them. And if they would listen and pay attention, they would be a lot better off.
Exactly. And I'm going to add this into the mix. Leadership.
Yeah.
Companies are putting people in leadership that are not leaders. And you're in, because I saw another TikTok, of course, and it was a lady speaking Gen Z. And so she's saying terms to them that they can resonate with. And I'm like, that's not a leader. I don't need to speak your language. What I need to do is create an atmosphere. Hey, baby, I need to create an atmosphere where those generations feel safe, because that is what's most important. Because if you don't create a space or cultivate a culture, because it's no more, we're like family. I'm not your family. And if you really want to be truthful, you wouldn't like how I do my family. I ain't got to talk to them. So because I had somebody that approached me like that, and you don't seem, this is how I do my family. So this is what I expect. I don't talk to them.
I really don't like them.
I mean, I like them sometimes.
Some days.
I've been away so long till I've gotten accustomed to out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I got you.
So I love them, and I do love to be around them when I'm with them. However, You can't say, this is my cousin right here.
Hey, cousin.
Yeah, it's right. Quit and fight. That's it. But then the thing is, they want to say we're like family. That's not a healthy culture, because
Right.
then you're putting unrealistic expectations on me of loyalty that's not warranted
Or earned.
or earned. I don't owe you that. Then they put on this, they don't understand diversity, equity, inclusion. Then they feel that being in the office helps you bond better. It really doesn't, because this generation have a lot of social anxiety issues. I'm one of them. I don't like small talk. It infuriates me. I don't care about your dog, even though I got one. I don't care what you did over the weekend. And I told you this before. One of the job that I quit within that same self-hour, he brought his concerns that I wasn't engaging with the girls. And I said, well, the reason why I'm not engaging is because I don't care about their chickens. Because she wanted to talk about her chickens before the call. I purposely joined a Teams call when the call starts. I don't join a few minutes before, because I don't want to be forced to have a conversation. I don't want to hear, hey, Joy, how you doing? I don't care. Let's get there when that call starts. I don't like it. I don't want somebody standing up at my desk. I don't want people who cough open mouth. I don't want none of that. They are some really filthy people at work. So it's like, you take all of that and then say, you want me to come in the office to do what? Well, we got free coffee. I do too. I get it from the Dollar General. Dollar Tree. I love Dollar Tree coffee. It's right here.
Free coffee. Wow.
And then they're thinking that those type of incentives that attracted the older generations matter. Like even with you're absolutely right. And even they I'm telling you, I don't need it.
Right.
That's not what's important to me.
Right.
And when I told and that's truth be made. So when you go looking for these opportunities, like you said, go on Glassdoor, interview them, because honestly, that's how I've landed a lot of the jobs that I've had. I go on, look at it. I don't know nothing about that job, but a few minutes before that interview starts, I'm Googling, searching, and I see all of the bad things and what's the commonality in the bad issues. And I focus on how I can change that around for you, and I'm a win-win. So I manipulate the situation whether I'm gonna stay or not.
That's a good perspective.
Yeah, I go in there and say, well, and one of my questions I always ask a hiring manager, what is your leadership style? And when they start telling me this, telling me that, and then they hire me, and then when they do the opposite, I bring it back to them. I say, remember, in September when we talked, you said this was your type of leadership style. And I told you at that point what works for me. I said, because I'm a very self-aware person. I said, did we not have that conversation? You're absolutely right. I said, if you are a micromanager, I will not thrive in that type of environment, and I will leave. And they was like, you did say that. So today is my last day.
That's fair.
Because you can't say I didn't tell you. I'm the most clear person you would ever talk to in an interview. I tell you what, when they try to do cultural interviews, because now they're trying to change up where they want to do cultural, see if you're a culture fit. And I thought I didn't, and actually I did land this job, and it worked out well so far. And I said, well, what if I don't meet your culture? She was like, what do you know? It was an Asian man. He's like, what do you mean? I said, your perspective of culture is not my perspective of culture. I'm not a culture fit. I'm a culture add. I said, I bring my own unique value. But if you expect me to come in with khaki pants and a chambray blue shirt every day, I'm not going to fit, because I want to say what's on my mind. I want to be included in the conversation. I'm going to voice my opinion. And if you need something different and you feel that that's challenging because it's not a culture fit, then I'm not your choice. Next thing you know, I got a job offer. I said, oh, shoot, that worked. But it's the truth. I told you, like, I'm not coming in to fit in.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I
not.
get it. You know what? I agree with everything you said. I can say or speak for myself and my experience and what I've learned. over the years that it's always benefited me to be able to know what it is that the person who hands something to me, and if anyone hands something to me in a work environment, I should know at least a general understand or have a general understanding of what it is their job does. And if I hand something to someone else upline, then I need to know at least a general idea of what their job description or what their job is. I don't have to replace either of them, but it is of value to me to be able to know in case I choose to go upward, left, or right,
Right.
that I have this knowledge and experience. And to add to that, I'll also say, as a leader or a person in management or responsible for other people, it's always good to take someone with you and teach them something that they need to know in order to leverage them and their career opportunities. That they may or may not have even shared with you, right? A lot of times you'll see in your employees or your peers something that they desire or they express interest in, and if you can offer them, a solution or a route to that, or make a connection, then do that, right? You don't want
Right.
to be the last person to know anything. I
Right.
tell the kids that to this day, don't be the last person to know anything.
Yeah. Now you can be the first to know and keep your mouth closed and just observe the situation, but never be the last one to know. Because the
Yeah,
moment you're the last person to know, it's a problem.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a problem.
All
And
right, so
and also I think a lot of younger generations, going back to the whole culture thing,
yeah,
um, because the young now in this one particular company that I passed the culture we
okay,
had a MBE, which is the Minority Business Enterprise.
okay,
These are typically businesses that are Black owned, women owned, Asian owned. They're a minority of some sort.
okay.
So we was having a lesson learned, and so the people who hosted it, who did all of the planning, they were the younger, gothic looking white
Mm,
individuals.
okay.
And it was like, all right, but it's an MBE. So obviously there's a hit and miss somewhere. And so they was like, do anybody have any feedback? I said, I do. And of course, I'm the only Black person there as usual.
Ooh, okay.
And I said, I don't think the food was a hit. Oh my God, why did I open up with that? They was like, and then the girl who did the food was like, that's all I saw. She was at the bottom of the screen. And I said, let me explain. I said, you have potato tarts. Who eat that?
Oh my.
I started the name. I said, you had these biscuits, these rolls that had a chicken ball in it. I said, now granted, they smelled good when you warmed them up. I said, the food that you chose was food for your taste. That's why only the employees and you were eating them. But our guests wasn't eating. Because they was like, yeah, we had so much food left over. And I'm telling you why. I said the only big hit was the wine bar that y'all had and the charcuterie board,
Yeah.
because it was quick grapes you could pick up. I said, however, it didn't look washed. Let me just throw that out there. Because
Ooh.
they had that little film looking little white
Uh-huh.
film. All right. I said, however, and then you had these cheese trays. Now we do like a good variety of cheese, but it was something to it. And she was sitting there and I said, I'm just being honest. This is some of the feedback that I took
Yeah.
in, because I'm going around the room talking to the different companies as a representative from the employee. Yeah, the greats was ashy. And talk to the employees. And I'm also looking at their plates, and nobody had a plate.
Obvious.
And I
They
said,
should've-
but only our employees had them. I said, that was a clear indication the food choices was not the best. If you're bringing in different variety cultures, then you need to stick with something that's very plateauish, that is very common. The
Mhm.
charcuterie board would have been enough. You could have just had a real large charcuterie board.
Yeah. That
I
would have
said,
been
I'm
all right.
being honest with you. All that money y'all wasted on those cheeses, on those water wafer crackers, and all of those, and and I went down the whole list, and I said, and
Ooh.
especially potato tarts. It was in them little tart cups, and it was like a potato paste. I ain't gonna lie, it was like 3 or 4 white men. They was going in at them. I said, and you talking to me with potato tart in the corner of your mouth.
Stop it, girl. Stop
And
it.
she was like, well, I thought the food was a good choice. I said, I'm gonna say it again. You were hosting a minority business enterprise event. That's all I can say about that before HR want to have a conversation with me.
They should have consulted with you prior to.
And I told him that. And I told him, I said, y'all know I was the only one. The companies that was there thought I was one of the companies because I didn't even have a shirt. I said, well, y'all at least could have had an extra shirt for me. But I came in at the last minute. I get that part, but I'm like, that menu, you could have saved that, honey. Ain't nobody eat no potato. And I specifically brought up that potato tart. So I said, why would you do that? Who grinds up potatoes and it was grayish in color and put it in a tart?
Lesson learned. If you are hosting or the putting on an event, do not do potato tarts. That is not going to win over.
It's not a
guests.
win. I would have preferred you to go to Chick-fil-A and got Chick-fil-A trays. You would have won with a Chick-fil-A tray.
Okay. Eat more chicken.
Don't go to Jimmy John's. We don't eat Jimmy John's like that. Why didn't you do a like you said, a survey? Find out what people eat. I would have went to a couple of black people and be like, listen, I need your help.
Especially if I don't know. Wow.
And so,
I'm sorry you had to experience that.
Yeah, I didn't eat that damn potato tart. I walked right past and I said, what is that? And there was a guy, he was eating, he was going, I said, oh, them things are, because I know how to code switch on that way. I'm like, those things were good.
And you know what, Shay? That is exactly why I don't eat at a lot of functions that we have.
She looked like she did because she had like greenish, pink hair. She had like the earrings. So they have an open culture. But it was like, you don't look like you wash your hands. You look like you don't wash your hands. And you got cats. Now, granted, all the food was catered in, but it was your food choices that had. And then this I can also know that she was dirty. When we was on screen during the meeting, she didn't blur out her background. I saw clothes and everything sitting in the back. The least you could have did was put on one of the fake backgrounds. Anyway, that's my soapbox. Man. It's all about creating culture. And these corporations really need to invest. And I hope they get this. I would love to circulate this.
Yeah.
They need to understand you need a culture coach.
Yeah.
You need somebody like us.
Yeah.
That can help you talk culture. Because your ideal of culture, and remember I told you about how the company brought in the oldest white couple for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm like, there's no possible way you thought that was okay. There's no possible way you thought that was okay. Going back to, like I said on other podcasts, a white person can't teach me history, Black American history. You can't.
Yeah. It was a lot of people wanted to tussle in the comments with that one.
I love that good tussle.
Oh,
because
man.
At the end of the day, you still couldn't show me where they could teach me off of experience, because that was my exact word. Experience. Yeah. Just like I cannot go into a Jewish household and teach them anything about their experience.
I agree.
I can give them what the textbook says, which has been conditioned to make us be singular in thought, that we are still beneath everything. And that's a whole nother soapbox. But no, companies really need culture coaches. They need somebody to come in, evaluate, and know how to create spaces, not just ERGs, because this is what these younger generations are looking for. You need to be more social responsible. You need to be more accepting, not just, we have a lot more transgendered individuals in our generation than previous generation. You have not transitioned your company to support them.
That's true.
You need to update your benefit packages to support them. Because a lot of them still have, you might got Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you might got Care First, but what the company put into those benefits could say this benefit is only for a married heterosexual couple. That happened with me and my wife when we was trying to have a baby.
Yep. I remember that.
So again, workplaces, y'all will have to get culture coaches. You need to figure out what is going to help you navigate through these generational changes. You have lost the baby boomers. They're dying. They're not, literally and figuratively. Gen Xers have realized that our key to wealth is not working.
Quickly learning.
Millennials are having breakdowns. Gen Z don't care. Gen Alphas, y'all ain't even ready for them because they don't even know how to tell time. And especially Amazon, when they have the clocks on the thing and they got the regular hand, them kids ain't gonna be able to tell time. They ain't gonna know to be back on time.
They gonna ask Siri.
Because they can't have their phone. And that's another thing. They got this in their hand all day.
Yeah.
Every day. Now, and granted, I do too, but I work from home. They be at not Chick-fil-A. I'm lying. McDonald's. Boom, 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 boom. They sitting over there. I went into U-Haul and he had his phone. You need culture coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, specifically for this Gen Z group, what is it, 12 to 27? I would just strongly encourage you, I would say anywhere from 18 to 25, even maybe, right? You don't necessarily know where you're going to end when it's time to retire, right? If you even care about a retirement. I will say, do the things that make you happy, things that you enjoy, until you figure that out, right? And hopefully you land upon something or a career path that is going to serve not just yourself, but for the path in which you would like to live your life, right? I would encourage you to, if it's a study or a skill set, or if it's a particular job specifically, then learn how to do that, and if you could do it for free, offer, until you get better at it to where you can search for a salary that is, going to be able to take care of you. But that's what I would encourage. The Gen Zs, Gen Xs, the Alphas, y'all got a minute before y'all get too far out there in the workforce. But that would be my 2 cents to offer to the Gen Zs. What do you have anything else you want to offer them if they would listen?
That's the whole point. They ain't gonna listen. I think my word would be more for the corporations.
Okay.
Than the generation, because why are we asking them to change? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I will give Gen Z are extremely emotionally intelligent. And some millennials are too. They're emotionally strong, they're emotionally driven.
Okay.
Because all of them being born under the 2000s have more of a feminine energy. That doesn't make them feminine. They have more of a feminine energy than any other generation. We're born under ones, so we're led under a masculine leadership type. That's how we drive. So our perspective in the workplace, work ethic. They don't care about work ethic. We cared about work ethic because we thought that is what mattered. These children care about, well, what are you going to do for me?
Yeah, we got to be more open.
So we have to be more open. And as corporations realizing that, hey, if you want to keep that tax benefit that the government gives you for having jobs in the United States, you're going to have to put things in place. You're going to have to budget. Because I had a company tell me they don't have a budget for DEI. But when they get this good lawsuit that I filed, you're going to have a budget.
They all notice now.
Oh, they going to realize. And I'm going to offer my services. That's going to be one of the settlement things. I want to help you. Right now, not going to stop me from suing you. I want to help you. But it's more for corporations to understand, like, all right, listen, yeah, we can be mad and say, we're going to take, the company say, I can take my business over to the Philippines and pay somebody $3 an hour what I'm paying you. But what is the disconnect is that you still have older people that still patronize your company, and they don't want to hear a foreign voice. So now you got to hear the voice of the customer. And what is the customer? Why they don't want to do business with you? Because you're no longer American. Because that still matters.
Yeah.
A lot of these government contracts, buy America, buy American, which means you only can use product produced and sold in America. So now you're losing out on a lot. You're not going to get these government benefits anymore for having businesses here. So your back is against the wall too. How can you navigate through that from a realistic perspective?
Right.
That's why you need a culture coach. This is not an HR function. You need a culture coach. Somebody
so independent.
You need a very solid opinion.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's why with Dale, they saw they had to back up. And they still try to threaten, well, I'm not gonna give you a raise. They're like, I'm gonna be up out here in a year anyway. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just know I'm not coming in that office.
I agree. Listen, I see some new opportunities coming your way.
Absolutely.
I see it. I see it. Listen, we've had a wonderful show. We would love to hear your input. If you are a Gen Z and you have the same views or thought process, yeah, of what the young lady shared, and you feel like you only want to get the paycheck for which you've signed up for and what's in your job description, we want to hear your perspective, right? So again, we would ask that you like, follow, click, and share on all social media platforms. We'd love to hear your comments, so drop them down below. And anything else you want to say to these?
No, I think we need to continue this because this is a serious conversation on what it looks like.
Yeah.
In the future, what it looks like, because it'll help us position ourselves when we offering our services.
Yes.
We know how to say, we can help you with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Navigate those conversations, those healthy conversations.
Healthy. And remember, all conflict is not bad. Some conflict is good.
It's necessary. Yeah. Well, I agree. Well, yeah, like you said, we are going to continue this series, right? So next week we'll have a different subject, but along the same lines. And then at some point we'll invite some people who manage or supervise in those capacities to give us their input, right? So if you would like to be a part of the Regal Mindset podcast show, send us an inbox. You're welcome to email us or inbox us on any of the social media platforms. Until then, please have a Regal Mindset, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.